Okay, so we are going to continue our coverage over Wolverine for the Destiny of X era of X-Men comics, where we do pick up with issues number 20 through 23. And this is going to be a 4-part storyline where we see Deadpool trying to join the X-Force team. Let me explain, because when it came to Deadpool, he was on the original X-Force team for a good period of time. Now, over the years, you did have different versions of X-Force, but over the years, you also had Deadpool be on some of those teams. But when it comes to the recent team, Deadpool is not on that team at all. And the reason why, because when it comes to Deadpool, he's technically not a mutant. And that is very huge, because when it comes to X-Force, they work for Krakoa, the mutant nation. And to be on X-Force, you have to live on Krakoa. But to live on Krakoa, you have to be a mutant. And when it comes to Deadpool, he's not a mutant, he's a mutate. Now, when it comes to a mutate, they are technically people who have their bodies altered through science or magic in some kind of way. But when it comes to a mutant, you are carrying the X gene. And so when it comes to Deadpool, he does not carry the X gene. But most times he's on X-Force because he has close ties to different characters on the X-Men team, like Wolverine or Cable, even Domino. And so that is why when it comes to Deadpool, he was able to be on different X-Force teams. But right now is him trying to get on the new team, even though he's not a mutant. And so getting into today's storyline, we actually do pick up with Wolverine, who's meeting up with Sage. Now remember, Sage has the mutant ability where it makes her be like a computer. She's able to multitask, but at the same time, she's able to work on computers so easily. But right now, the reason why Wolverine is coming to her is because he wants her to look into Dolores Ramirez. Now, when it comes to Dolores Ramirez, she works for X-Desk. Now, you would think with the name, it has to be one of the many different X-Men teams like X-Men, X-Force, X-Factor, but it's not. When it comes to X-Desk, it's actually a branch to the CIA. What the CIA is doing right now, they have X-Desk watch over every single mutant in the mutant race across the world to keep tabs on every single mutant. But when it comes to Dolores, she does work for X-Desk, but the last time Wolverine saw her, it was at some kind of auction. And at that auction, you had a guy selling off different kinds of things, including a mind-wiped mutant better known as Maverick. And when it came to Dolores, she wanted to buy Maverick and use Maverick for her own personal gain. Unfortunately, she was unable to buy Maverick. And so what she did was she sent in a small army to disrupt the entire auction. But at the same auction though, there was a Wolverine hand, and that was a huge problem for Wolverine, because we have no idea where that hand came from. Now, for Wolverine, he's saying maybe it came from the past, where of course I was traveling through time to fight against Omega Red. And that is a callback to X Lives and Deaths of Wolverine, where he had to go back in time to fight against Omega Red. And so that means maybe one of the times his hand was cut off, it was probably kept somewhere and only brought out recently, which of course would make sense why at that auction his hand was there and he had no idea where the hand actually came from. Either way, he wants to find Dolores, because if she does have her hands on that hand, yeah, I know what I said there, but if she does have the Wolverine hand, it could lead to more problems for the X-Men down the road. And Sage does agree. She's like, okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and find this woman and stop her right now. And really, when it comes to Sage, it was so easy for her to find Dolores on the planet that she tells Wolverine that apparently Dolores was at some kind of gathering. And of course, if she was there at that gathering, it could be a problem for mutants down the road, because she does work for X-Desk, and X-Desk only does business about mutants. And so if she was there, of course that means she was talking about us, the mutant race. Either way right now, you did see her leave the party. But when she did leave the party, she left with another agent, and that agent had a briefcase, but that briefcase was handcuffed to him. And the question is right now, what in the world is inside that briefcase? And so you have Wolverine say, let me go ahead and follow her, find her, and get my hands on that briefcase. But getting back over to Deadpool, we do see him hanging out with Blind Owl. And Blind Owl is an old character in Marvel Comics, but always has her hands in different kind of things. Most times it's really shady things. Either way, she has been hearing Deadpool complain about the idea that unfortunately he has not been welcomed back into the new X-Force team. And so he really wants to be on the X-Force team so bad that she says, listen, I got my hands on a specific kind of file that technically it would help out the mutant race a lot. And so if I give this file to you, you could help them, and this could be your way of trying out for the team to show them you could be an asset and not just a waste of time. And so once you have Blind Owl show Deadpool the file that she got her hands on, well, Deadpool is surprised what he sees in the file. And so you have Deadpool say, I have to go help out X-Force right now, but once I do, it's going to help me so much to get back on the X-Force team. Once we do get back over to Wolverine, is Wolverine going to the last location he has on Dolores thanks to Sage. Now when he does arrive, well, this leads into a problem. What I mean by that is, when he does arrive, he finds a bunch of dead bodies. Yes, you heard that right, a bunch of dead bodies. The problem is though, most of these dead bodies are X-Men characters. And most of these dead bodies, not most, but some of them are him. He's seeing clones of himself right now laying out in the middle of this area with other dead bodies of other X-Men, but of course there's also clones of them as well. So Wolverine, Jean Grey, Cannonball, not Cannonball, I think it was Goldball. Either way, you have a lot of different clones right now just laying out in the middle of this area, and Wolverine has no idea why are there so many clones of him, Jean Grey, and some other X-Men, but at the same time, there's also a lot of dead CIA agents as well. He's wondering what in the world is going on, but he's then confronted by Deadpool, because Deadpool is also there as well, which tells us right now when it came to Blind Owl, that took place in the past. Now at first, we have no idea how far back in time it goes, but we do come to find out later on. Either way, Deadpool came here to help out Wolverine and tell Wolverine, we have to get out of here because this is actually an ambush. And right now, somebody is trying to frame you and the rest of the mutant race. And that is the moment he does get sniped by a sniper in a helicopter. Now, it does not take out Wolverine, but Wolverine and Deadpool are on the run. And you have Deadpool say, you have no idea how much danger you are in. And the word danger is very important. And the reason why, because we are seeing the return of danger in Wolverine comics. But before I'm able to explain who Danger is, we have to continue on with Wolverine and Deadpool. Don't worry, later on in this video, I'm going to explain who Danger is because she's very important for this storyline, but also to X-Men history. Either way, when it comes to Wolverine, you have him right now try to chase down Deadpool because Deadpool is not giving back the briefcase. And for Wolverine, that is the problem. But for Deadpool, the reason why he's not giving back the briefcase because two reasons. One, he wants to explain to Wolverine what in the world is going on. But two, he also wants a spot on the X-Force team. And so he tells Wolverine, I'm not going to give you the briefcase back until you allow me to be on X-Force once again. And for Wolverine, he hates Deadpool a lot. Now, there are some times where he could tolerate Deadpool, but most of the time he cannot. And so right now, it's one of those times where Wolverine's like, I have enough. Just give me the briefcase. But you have Deadpool say, nope, and he shoots Wolverine in the face and says, you need to listen to me because I got a story to tell you, but to also help you as well. And so we do get a flashback. And with this flashback, we kind of find out after Deadpool met up with Blind Owl, he went to go meet up with Weasel. And when it comes to Weasel, Weasel is an old character in Deadpool comics, but Weasel is usually the guy Deadpool goes to when he needs some new tech. And apparently Deadpool went to Vegas to meet up with Weasel. Now when he does find Weasel's new base, he does run into Maverick. And Maverick is going to be important as well for the storyline. Matter of fact, when it comes to Benjamin Percy's run on Wolverine, Maverick has become a very important character in the entire run. Either way, apparently Deadpool does see Maverick. He's all like, man, Maverick, you look good. And you have Maverick like, yeah, dude, I know I look good. Either way, after that, Deadpool does run into Weasel. And Weasel's still mad at Deadpool for past things happening because Deadpool is a total jerk. Either way, you have Deadpool say, listen, Weasel, I'll go ahead and pay you, but just know I need your tech right now because I have to perform for X-Force very soon to show them they need me on their new team. And so when we jump over to the present day, it's Deadpool telling Wolverine why he should listen to Deadpool. And the reason why, because Deadpool is trying to help Wolverine avoid a huge battle down the road when it comes to Krakoa and America. Because right now, Wolverine is most likely to go after Dolores and also do some heavy damage to the CIA right out here in the middle of the field. And that would give the CIA more proof to go after the mutant race. Because right now what it seems like in the field is that there were a bunch of mutants that went after the CIA X-Desk group, and most of the agents died, but they were able to take out a few mutants as well. And that could lead into a future war down the road. And so it's Deadpool saying, this is why I cannot allow you to go after her. But at the same time, I couldn't give you the briefcase until I had explained things to you. But for Wolverine, he's like, hey, okay, I get that, but explain all the robots though. Where did these robots come from? Yes, she could use these robots to frame us, but at the same time, I want to know where they came from. And so you have Deadpool explain a tad bit more to Wolverine by saying the reason why the robots are around is because of Danger. Now, don't worry, I am going to explain who Danger is here in a brief moment, but when it comes to Danger, she's helping out Dolores when it comes to the robots, because when it came to Dolores, she was trying to use the robots as a way to frame the mutant race, because in this area there was supposed to be a battle, and the robots who are pretending to be the X-Men were supposed to kill off a small group of federal agents. But with that happening, it's going to look like the mutants had attacked the humans, attacked America. And so Dolores was going to take that footage back to the president in the military and say, we have to go after the mutant race because look at what they did. They attacked federal agents, but her plan fell apart. And the reason why? Deadpool, because Deadpool is telling us when it came to the file he got from Blind Owl, the file told him what was going to happen here in this area. And so of course he arrived there to stop both sides. Really, he killed off both sides. But that is great because with him doing that, now Dolores cannot frame the mutant race because Deadpool is not a mutant. Deadpool is a mutate, and with him being a mutate, her whole plan falls apart. Right now, her plan is still falling apart because when the robots fly in and they try to take out Deadpool and Wolverine, but to also get their hands on the briefcase, it now looks like her entire plan is completely broken. She can't use anything here at all. Now you also have Danger arrive, and Danger is here for the briefcase as well. And you have Danger arrive at the scene because Danger also wants whatever inside in the briefcase. And so she does plan to beat down Wolverine and Deadpool to get her hands on that briefcase. And Deadpool wants to back up Wolverine, but Deadpool knows it's probably better for them to go ahead and get the heck out of here because if they do fight against Danger, it could lead to more problems for Wolverine and Deadpool, but also the rest of the mutant race. because again, we have no idea what is inside the actual briefcase. Either way, you have Deadpool use a teleporter, and when he does, well, he believes it should take him somewhere safe. Unfortunately though, Weasel gave him that teleporter, and Weasel set a trap to bring Deadpool and Wolverine back to his base, but of course inside a cage, where now they're stuck inside the cage. And then you have Weasel take the briefcase away from Deadpool and Wolverine. And we also find out that right now, Weasel is working with Maverick. That right there is a huge plot twist. Now, with that being said, you do have Weasel and Maverick open up the actual briefcase. And when they do, well, they find what seems to be a smaller version of Danger. And this is very confusing. And when we jump into the third chapter, we pick up with Wolverine expressing how much he really does hate Deadpool at the moment, which honestly really shows their actual relationship, because Wolverine over the years, like I said earlier, he tolerates Deadpool at some points, but a lot of times he cannot deal with Deadpool, including this moment right here. And so you have Wolverine just want to get rid of Deadpool, but he knows he can't because one, Deadpool's healing factor, and two, he is a killer, but at the same time, he does not want to kill off Deadpool. But then we see Weasel and Maverick put the robot together, the robot that was inside the briefcase, this mini Danger. And once they do, they have this miniature robot that looks kind of similar to Danger, but has the head of Cerebro, it seems. Either way, when they look at this robot, it looks like a baby robot. And they're wondering what in the world is happening right now. Why is the CIA, Danger, and also Krakoa after this particular thing? Like, what is it worth? What can it actually do? And that is the moment the baby robot comes to life. It turns on and begins the process of attacking both Maverick, but also attacking Weasel as well. And the reason why is trying to escape. And once it's able to find a pathway out of the building, you have Weasel and Maverick try to chase down the actual robot. And Wolverine was able to find a way out of the cage. And so you have Wolverine chase after Maverick and Weasel, but also the baby robot. It leads to a whole chapter of Wolverine and Deadpool, Maverick, Weasel chasing after this robot all over Las Vegas and different areas inside, outside of buildings in Vegas. It makes for a very fun chase. At the end of the chase though, you do have Deadpool and Wolverine being able to get the robot, but once they do, they are confronted by Blind Owl, who's going to take them somewhere else to kind of hide out for the time being, but also tell them more information they need to know about the robot, but also why Danger wants the robot as well. Well, really, Blind Owl doesn't do that. Sorry, correction. She says, listen, if you're going to figure out why in the world Danger wants the robot, you have two options. One, you can find her and kill her, or two, you can find her and give it to her. And so you have Wolverine right now say, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and confront Danger. Let me go ahead and find her and end all of this madness and try to figure out what in the world is going on with this robot and why is she working with Dolores, but at the same time, why is she coming after us for this baby robot? What in the world is going on here? And so you have Blind Owl tell Wolverine and Deadpool that right now Danger is hiding out in the old X mansion. And so Wolverine and Deadpool have to go there and deal with Danger once and for all back in the old mansion where the X-Men used to work out of. And this is where I want to talk about the origin of Danger. And of course, we're right now in the final chapter of this storyline. But when it comes to the origin of Danger, Danger was originally the Danger Room. Let me explain. See, in the 1960s, 70s, even 80s, and 90s as well, you had a thing called the Danger Room. And when it came to the Danger Room, it was a way to train the X-Men between each mission so that they're able to learn more about their powers, but also learn different combinations with teammates when it comes to their powers. And so the Danger Room was a great training room for the X-Men. The thing is, Over the years, the Danger Room would constantly be destroyed, but it would always be rebuilt. Except one of the last times it was rebuilt, it was given Shi'ar Empire technology. And so, of course, with that technology, it gained awareness. It came to life. And of course, it evolved into an actual AI system, an actual robotic being. And that right there caused a lot of problems for the X-Men. And the reason why? Because it began to hate Charles Xavier. Because to Danger, it felt like Charles Xavier never truly cared for the actual Danger Room. Now, that was years ago. And occasionally, Danger would reappear in X-Men comics, but sometimes just pop up here and there and be gone again for a good period of time, like right now. And so right now, Danger is back again, but it seems like she's after the smaller robot, and we have no idea why. Now, with that being said, this could be Danger right now working on a secret plan to get payback on Charles Xavier, because again, she hated Charles Xavier because she believed that Charles and the X-Men never truly cared for her. And so with that, this could be a way for her to get payback on the mutant race. But getting back to the present day, we do see Deadpool right now asking Wolverine to promise him one thing, which is that once the mission is done, Wolverine needs to give Blind Owl some Krakoan medicine. And the reason why? Because Blind Owl has cancer. She's dying. She's on the verge of dying. Now, when it comes to her, she's okay with moving on. But for Deadpool, he cannot let her go. And this really shows a very serious side when it comes to Deadpool. And honestly, it makes you somewhat relate to the character because now you realize he does care for people. I mean, technically, we have seen him in the past care for other people, but for right now, it's a great moment because you hardly see this kind of moment. And right now, it's him saying, hey, I'm asking you to promise me that after this mission, you give her that medicine and you make sure that she is okay. And Wolverine realized, okay, Deadpool is very serious. I'm going to tell him yes because I'm going to do that for real. And this is where we begin the process of wrapping up today's storyline, because we do pick up with Danger, and you have Danger right now showing us a family of robots, but each member of this family of robots is a member of the X-Men, just remade as a robot. But this is where we find out why she wants the baby so bad, because this baby robot is her daughter, because she built a family of robots to replace the X-Men. Because when it comes to Danger, she said for years and years and years and years, I trained you guys to get better and better and better. And to me personally, you were like children to me. I loved you guys. I cared for you guys. I watched you guys grow. But then one day, everybody left me behind, but no one truly came back for me or even cared that they left me behind. And really, this is a callback to her old days where occasionally she would get mad at the X-Men because it seemed like they did not care for her at all. And so here we are again, where it seems like because the X-Men left the old mansion behind and went to build an island for the mutant race, that technically they didn't need her anymore. They didn't care for her anymore. And so she felt like she was left behind. A mother who only wanted to be loved by her children. Now, it does lead into some fighting, but after a while she realized that she really can't kill off Wolverine and Deadpool. And so all she asked is to be left alone with her family. That is why she was working with Dolores to get the baby daughter back, so that her family could be completed. And really, when we do reach the end of the book, we kind of find out that Wolverine did keep his promise. He made sure that Blind Owl did get the medicine, that now she's okay, the cancer is gone. But on top of that, when it comes to Deadpool, he's now being back on the X-Force team once again, along with Wolverine, Omega Red, Domino, Beast, Sage. And so Deadpool has now officially rejoined the X-Force team. And this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.